topics, so I know what he was doing in July.
That's right.
OpenAI Dev Day is next week.
Whoa.
Right.
What do we do?
Oh, interesting.
How do you celebrate OpenAI Dev Day?
You quit.
Excellent.
A week before.
Fire somebody.
Perfect.
We're not sure yet.
Didn't someone leave OpenAI a week before Dev Day last year too? This rings a bell.
It doesn't really ring a bell to me, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
This is how
Wasn't
you know
it Miramar? No, I'm just kidding. Didn't you do this before?
I feel like there's...
What day is this?
If you have a company of any note,
before.
you have to have a day, right? You have to have your Dev Day. You got to have your whatever Google calls theirs. You got to have Apple's thing.
I.O.
Google I.O.
Yeah. Everybody has their thing now.
Yeah, we don't have DTNS Dev Day. We need to do that.
Yeah, let's do it. You have Mystery Week, not Mystery Week,
Mystery
Experiment
Meat.
Week.
Oh, sorry, Experiment Week.
You should do Mystery Week. That'd be funny.
You don't know what the show is, even after you've listened to it. It's Mystery Week.
That would make me laugh. You know what's funny? My only times I've been on shows with Rob Dunwood has been here, and I really like the guy.
Yeah, good guy.
And so I chose him for this podcast thing that I
That's a
did.
relief.
Remember that thing that you had Veronica on, and then she had to have somebody on the next week?
Oh yeah, so my Molly. So that's a spoiler, I think. But yeah, Molly had me on. That episode came out this week.
Oh, they're way ahead. Then.
Molly
They're way
interviewing me is out now.
Okay.
And then whoever I interview next.
Yeah, whoever that was. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, let's just say in a scenario that it's possible that I would interview Rob Dunwood.
Yeah.
Not saying it happened, but maybe it did. Anyway, he is great, of course, and but I didn't realize how anti-Apple he is when he's not here, being professional and keeping the even keel. You know what I'm saying? Of DTNS.
Yeah. His key, yeah,
He does not like Apple.
He's not a big fan. No. I do know that, but yeah, he doesn't wear it on his sleeve.
It threw me
can
off
be
a
objective.
little. Which is fine, but it was just like, whoa, all right, we're gonna fight.
So here's an interesting little tidbit that I'll drop in the pre-show. When I did that, what is it called? Podcast 360.
360. Yeah.
Molly invited me, and then their shtick is like Molly invites you, then you get to pick someone, and I actually gave them 3 names. When I was like, here's who I think I would like to interview next. And the 3 names I gave were Veronica Belmont, Scott Johnson, and Rob Dunwood.
Shut up. Really?
Well,
she never told me.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Well, I would have, Sarah, you were a close second for me.
2 minutes.
They actually tell you, like, don't, anybody you're like currently hosting with, you shouldn't do, which Molly totally violated. So I guess I could have too, but.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not currently hosting with either Rob.
Truly,
or...
I am not offended in the least. But somebody better nominate me.
Yeah, right.
Eventually.
No, Sarah's a good pick. I would have done it with a second pick. If they'd have said, sorry, Rob's already been on or something.
I don't really know. I mean, if it's sort of like life story, I'm like, haven't I told this story already?
No, it's more like,
That's the story.
just talking about the business of podcasting and mechanics and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That kind of
It's podcasting specific, not like where'd you go to college?
I mean, with me, it was some
guess some of it
history
would be,
and stuff.
yeah.
a
but it was
little bit of history comes
very
out.
much about podcasting, not about your life.
You know, when I was on a recent episode of Techsploder, which Jason Howell hosts, which was really fun. It was great. We did it first thing in the morning, and he was like, this is not like, you don't need a rundown. We're just chatting. And during the show, he was like, yeah, I think we went to the same college. And I'm like, did we? And we did.
Oh, really?
Oh, no way.
And we
Same
have
time,
we have
too?
the same degree.
Oh,
He was
I
a
didn't know
little
that.
bit after me because he had like a gap year or 2.
because he's so young.
Young, fresh-faced.
Well,
Jason
he
Howell.
started in Idaho and then he finished in San Francisco. But
okay,
I was,
okay.
but like, I'm
30
like,
seconds.
how do there aren't that many of us. I mean, me, Roger, and a couple others.
Dave Yount.
Couple
Dave
of, well,
Chang.
I mean, a lot of people.
I mean, there's
but
more people who went to the school, I assume.
A lot of
There's a
people
lot
went
of
to the
people
school,
here.
just not people that I would like know to like be able to like call on the phone today.
Yeah.
It's
just
the
to
old
feel.
2-person alumni they got going over
Yeah,
there.
it was really fun though. It was a good show.
That's great. I enjoyed it on there too. I had a really good time on Techsploder.
Have a good show, everybody.
Good day, Internet.
Oh, internet, good day to you.
Good day, Internet.
Good day and hello. Internet.
I really thought you were going somewhere else with that till you said the O at the end.
Yeah. Good day-o. Internet-o.
What's hello minus O, Roger?
Oh.
Don't look confused.
Oh.
You're not that young.
What was it? I'm in
Good day
double
with
hockey
you.
sticks.
I don't know. There was just something in the tone that made me like suspect for a moment. Not that I would think you would do that.
Huh. Sounds like you.
Yeah, it's a me problem for sure. It's not a you problem. I'll cop to that. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, shall we get into these Meta Connect announcements?
Let's do
I
it.
think we shall.
I'm going to use the word entwined in the show. Listen for
Oh,
it.
you're required now. If you miss
When
it,
we
we're all
hear
gonna...
it, what do we do?
Scream.
Oh, jeez.
Got it.
All right.
Here we go. 3, 2. Daily Tech News Show is made possible by you listening right now. Thanks to all of you, including Johnny Hernandez, Hi Tech Oki, Chris Zaragaz, and brand new patrons TJ and Yishuan Lu.
Yay! Welcome.
On this episode of DTNS, the VR, AR, and AI that Meta announced at Connect, plus Scott Johnson's thoughts on Logitech's new Adobe entwined Stream Deck-like device, the MX Creative. This is the Daily Tech News for Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. In Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
In Salt Lake City, I'm Scott Johnson.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
I need to hide the magic word later in the show, don't I?
Yeah, because
I'm
I
like-
knew.
I'm like,
yeah.
are there going to be several screams? I don't know. I'm going to stay vigilant.
The word is entwined. Scream. Yeah. We got a lot to get to with this Meta Connect, so let's start with the quick hits.
Google filed a European Union antitrust complaint against Microsoft over unfair cloud computing practices that Google says reduces customer choice and also raises prices. The company alleges that Microsoft's Windows software locks users into its Azure cloud services by imposing financial penalties on customers who want to switch to rival providers. Google says if you move Windows data to Azure, it's basically free, but if you do the same with a competitor, that can be up to a 400% markup. Google wants the EU to agree that Microsoft should remove these restrictions. Microsoft claims it's already resolved similar concerns with other European cloud providers and is doing nothing wrong.
European privacy rights group NOYB, N-O-Y-B, has filed a complaint in the EU against Mozilla, the privacy paragon, saying that Mozilla's use of the Privacy Preserving Attribution, or PPA module, violates the GDPR. PPA collects interest at the browser level and then submits it to an aggregation service. So your individual browsing habits are not shared, just kind of general interests, and they're aggregated, so they are somewhat anonymous. However, the complaint says this is still tracking, especially since Mozilla doesn't have enough market share to end cookies, and you can use some cookies with some PPA data to backtrack and figure out who you are. Firefox also has this collection on by default. So if you agree with NOYB that PPA is tracking directly, then having it on by default would probably be a violation of the GDPR. Mozilla says it has only conducted a limited test of PPA. It has only implemented it on its own websites, and the feature is easily turned off in settings.
OpenAI's Chief Technology Officer, Merritt posted on X on Wednesday, after much reflection, I've made the difficult decision to leave OpenAI. There's never an ideal time to step away from a place one cherishes, yet this moment feels right. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman wrote in response, "We'll say more about the transition plan soon, but for now, I want to take a moment to just feel thanks." Well, while he's doing that, we're getting ready for OpenAI's Dev Day, which is starting next week.
Yeah, that's like breaking up by text message, isn't it? Just
A little bit.
Yeah. I
Something
mean,
about
say thanks, and then let's see what's going on.
Well, for those of you who don't like gossipy spats, I'm sorry, but we have a follow-up story about Automatic's Matt Mullenweg and WP Engine. Yesterday, we mentioned WP Engine sent a cease and desist to Mullenweg over alleged disparagement. So Automatic has now sent a cease and desist to WP Engine, making specific its trademark violation allegations. The WordPress Foundation also changed its trademark policy page. Now, remember, Automatic and the WordPress Foundation are different things, but both Matt Mullenweg's children, so to speak. The WordPress Foundation said, in relation to trademark, now, the abbreviation WP is not covered by WordPress trademarks, but please don't use it in a way that confuses people. For example, many people think WP Engine is WordPress Engine and officially associated with WordPress, which it's not. They have never once even donated to the WordPress Foundation, despite making billions of dollars of revenue on top of WordPress. Meow.
Yep.
Meow. A security vulnerability in ChatGPT allowed attackers to plant false memories and then malicious instructions in its long-term memory capabilities, which would potentially let somebody have access to user data in perpetuity. Researcher Johan Reberger demonstrated how this could be exploited by making ChatGPT believe information that was fabricated in the first place and then sending all user inputs to an attacker server. OpenAI has addressed the issue at least partially, although prompt injection attacks can still manipulate stored memories. So, keep your memories close to you. We mentioned yesterday that Logitech introduced the MX Creative Console. It's a customizable controller with physical buttons for creative professionals, including a dial. You got some buttons, also a touch screen to control various software tools. Maybe it would be Photoshop or Premiere, for example. The device is part of Logitech's MX lineup. These are all designed to boost productivity and workflow for digital creators. Sells for $199. Shipping starts October 14th. Now, Scott, word on the street is that you do some digital creating. I don't know if I'm right about this or not, but if I am, what do you think?
Well, all right. You guys remember the Microsoft Surface Studio a few years ago? They haven't really updated it that much, but it was like a big desktop
The
solution.
big desktop touchscreen thingy.
Yeah. And the one cool thing about it, I thought at the time, is they had that weird puck thing that you would put on the screen. You could dial it and do stuff to control things.
dial.
And then nothing. Kind of the whole initiative went away. And we haven't heard much about it since. So along comes Logitech with something that immediately piqued my interest. And I like it when these kind of tools show up that aren't necessarily locked into only using with Adobe products or only with any other competitor's products, something you can kind of program to use how you want to use them. I personally think this is a big deal. I think it's great. And I think artists are always looking for more tools, especially those that are sort of locked into my tablet is connected to my PC or Mac, and I need interface tools that will help me get the job done. In a lot of ways, this is like the Elgato Stream Deck, not to be confused with Valve Steam Deck. I always have to make that clear. That is, a bunch of assignable buttons that can do all kinds of functions. And already I have artist friends, including myself, who use that device for some of what they're talking about here. The advantage here, though, is we're talking about more than that. You have that puck-like device. You have some other buttons that can be assigned. You have the digital front buttons with the little LED displays that are programmable and let you kind of decide what you want to put with those. The real hard part about these usually is penetrating the habits of artists who are already making digital content and making them change. Feel like it's enough of an improvement that they're going to change their workflow to make that happen. And sometimes that's an entire shift to a whole new platform. A lot of people move to iPad Pros when those happen, and that started to take off. So that will be the trick here. The real test will be, will folks integrate it in a way that will make them okay with like changing up their habits, and will Logitech on the other end of this support this, moving forward. The only concern I really have about this is they have amazing hardware at Logitech. Always have. Love their mice. That's all I use. I love them. I'm worried about software side of this. G-Hub is terrible, and some of their other stuff that they put out there for drivers and other solutions are really bad.
Does the integration with Adobe make you feel better or worse?
It makes me feel a little better because it means obviously they're communicating and they seem like these are
probably
well
a lot
suited
of
to
eyes
each other.
on what works and what doesn't.
I would think so. The trick usually is drivers and stuff that just sort of manage it up in your task menu, or something where you're just like quickly trying to make a quick change or whatever. They are not known for good solutions in that regard. Maybe that's changing. Maybe this thing will have nothing to do with that. I don't know, but that is one thing I'll watch for when it lands, and I hope we have more to say once it comes out, because I think this is a pretty neat addition to the.
Are you
going to
get it? Or are you
I
gonna
think
wait?
I might. I might actually get it. The big trick for me will be will I have as much customization as I can outside of the Adobe ecosystem as I want, because I'm currently kind of not in there the way I used to be, and I use a lot of other competing products. Can I still?
Yeah. Does it try to sort of kind of nudge you back into a specific workflow that it works best with,
right?
Not necessarily what you work best with.
Exactly. And if you're making a lot of content that is like 3D content for 3D printing, for example, your 3D modeler, let's say, out there, will these tools be tweakable to the point that I can happily use those in 3D applications? And I just don't want it to be a one-trick pony and only work well with Photoshop or Illustrator.
Yeah, right.
I think that's bad for that market.
Premiere.
Yeah.
I also think your note about just how much do people want a workflow that they're really dialed into to change? I mean, yes, we can always change workflows, and sometimes it makes things more complicated, and often it makes things easier. My fear, if I were to have this kind of workflow, I'm like, all right, now I've got like a few more things on the desk, like those new things aren't going to do everything that I need. So I still need my keyboard, I still need my trackpad, but now I've got this other stuff. Does it do these sort of, essentially, hotkey configurations help me, or create more complexity with, under the guise of helping me?
Yeah, and you're also running out of ports, and you've got to swap
That
other
too.
things around, and you're like, well, man, I don't know if this is just more stuff or if this is really going to help me. And honestly, I think the killer app here might be video editing, whether it's Premiere or DaVinci Resolve or something like that, where you're doing a lot of scrubbing with the knob. You're using these shortcut keys for very much needed all the time shortcut keys when you're editing. So that may actually be the killer space for this. When it comes to the artist stuff, it's usually 2 or 3 buttons accessible by your thumb or something are all you need. So this might be overkill. That's what I'm saying. I need to see it in the wild, get some use cases out of it, see what people think, and then we can make probably a better distinction on what's going on. But I love that they're doing this. I will say that. I think it's great. Give people more tools to work with, refine it, do better. We'll see if it has some lasting power.
I have good news for you, Scott. You can still buy the Surface Studio 2 Plus.
Great. I'm on
Starts
it.
at $4,500.
Oh, never mind. I'm not on it. I'm good.
We'll stick with $200.
Still there, though.
For the
Still
MX
there.
Creative
Hasn't gone away.
console.
Folks, if you would like to start a fund to help Scott afford a Studio 2 Plus or start any other kinds of conversations, you can do so in our Discord. Our Discord is full of people who support the show, and if you're one of them, you can join by linking to a Patreon account. Just link your account to Discord. Our server shows up immediately. Patreon.com/DTNS. Meta Connect was this morning, as of the day we recorded the show, and it was nice, tight, compact, well-performed announcement. I'll give them that. We can decide what we think of the actual things they announced, but well done on the execution. The star of the show, right off the top, first thing Zuckerberg did is Quest 3S, $299, shipping October 15th. It is a 128 gigabyte, so smaller storage than the 3, although you can get a 256 gigabyte version for $400. Same processor as the Quest 3, but it has the Quest 2's display, the Quest 2's field of view, therefore, and it has no depth sensor. It's 1 gram lighter than the 3, though. It's got longer battery life than the 3. It has the same RAM and the same processor as the 3, 8 gigabytes of RAM and the Snapdragon XR Gen 2. The Quest 3 is also getting a price drop. So the Quest 3S will be $299 and $399. The Quest 3 drops from $649 to $499. So you now have $299, $399, $499 in the Quest lineup. And they're bundling Batman Arkham Shadows with either the 3 or the 3S if you purchase it by the end of the year. Also, they discontinued the Quest and the Quest 2. So the Quest 3S and the Quest 3 are the only headsets that they sell here. Now, Sarah, let's start with you because I know you're into VR. What do you think about the 3S here? It seems like it's more like a 2 Plus than a 3S, but whatever you call it, right?
And I don't have a Quest 3. I have the original and I have the 2. The 2 is what I use almost every day right now for VR fitness stuff. And so the Quest 3S, to me, if it's a tiny little walk back from the 3, I can see someone being like, not for me. But for me, I'm like, oh, okay, it's great. So it's lighter, battery's better, less storage. I don't use a lot of storage on the Quest anyway. I kind of just cycle through 5 different apps, and you can just, I don't know, get rid of something and re-download it later anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should probably be in the market for a Quest 3 just to have my finger on the pulse, but the Quest 2 works out nicely. If discontinued means support stops, then we'll see what that looks like.
They're not restocking them. They're even going to continue to sell them until they sell out the inventory. So support should continue for a while. You should be fine there.
Yeah. In that case, I'm good to go. Quest 2, not perfect, but it's my little ride or die. It's my daily VR guy.
Scott, you want a 3S?
I do. Here's the trick. I have felt like since the 3, they have priced me out of what is interesting to me. Like I just haven't felt like the price is right. And now I think I could see that. Like I think the price is right. The price is right, Bob.
Come on down, Scott.
I feel like I would. I feel like that middle SKU has gone missing. Because the middle SKU went. Not that the 2 was ever the middle SKU, but the 2 was so affordable, right? And for what it did, it was actually a really great bump up for not that much money. I think they were $299 at the time. And probably still are if you can find them. But the going straight to what they did with the 3, I was like, well, where's my middle ground? It was a little like when certain computers go to pro levels and they forget about the middle guys. So I just fell off after the 2. Like I'm not going to pay attention until there's something more reasonable. And I feel like that middle tier is back, and I'm now interested in getting that maybe over just a straight 3. More than I was before. So
initial reviews are that this is the right compromises. People are like, it still looks fine, even with the Quest 2's display and everything. Let's move on to the Meta AI announcements. Meta AI across the different products that it is integrated with will now let you do conversations in real time. You could do that on the glasses. You couldn't do that elsewhere. Now you can do it everywhere you have Meta AI. The generic voices are there, as well as celebrity voices. You can have Meta AI be the voice of Nora from Queens, a.k.a. Aquafina, Dame Judi Dench, John Cena, Keegan-Michael Key, or Kristen Bell. You can show it a picture. It's multimodal now, so you can ask questions about a picture that you upload to it. They are piloting a translation tool that would automatically translate voices in Instagram Reels. So they're doing a small test with creators in US and Latin America on that, and it can respond to requests to change and edit photos from text chats in Instagram Messenger and WhatsApp. So you get sent a photo, you can say, oh, change the background or remove that piece of trash in the background, stuff like that. They also announced Llama 3.2, which adds the ability to understand images, which is powering some of this stuff in Meta AI. This is kind of catch up. Most of the other models already do this. There are 2 vision models under Llama 3.2, an 11 billion and a 90 billion one. They work on ARM hardware. Meta AI Imagine is coming to Facebook Messenger and Instagram to generate photos and captions for Instagram. And last thing, they're testing a new feature that creates AI-generated content for you and then puts it in your feed based on your interest or current trends.
Oh, gosh.
Called Imagined for You.
That's just what I need. Just what I need.
Curious how that one's going to work.
The stuff I didn't ask for, but I want deep down inside.
If they're really good, maybe you'll be like, okay, I did want that skateboarding raccoon eating a pizza or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the AI friend, that you clip on your lapel and says nice things to you throughout the day. It's like, I don't know, if it works, great. A lot of this stuff is, I don't want to be a naysayer because I want to check it out first and see how cool it is. I feel like it's going to contribute to a lot of social media noise. And there's so much already that, I'm kind of like, all right, AI generated captions. I mean, if I don't have a caption, man, maybe I just shouldn't post it in the first place.
Actually, the caption is the one I like. The caption's the one where, like, sometimes I'm just I'm like, oh, what should I say? And if it can just suggest something, I might tweak it a little, but that could be helpful.
Yeah,
I don't need it
I
to
guess
show me a
so.
picture of myself in a astronaut outfit to inspire me.
Yeah, I'm kind of with a little bit of Tom and a little bit of Sarah here. I think it's my biggest problem with Facebook owned properties, or I should say Meta owned properties, is they're already very noisy with a lot of fake AI stuff that's being presented as real. They haven't really gotten their head around that. So the idea that I got to go face more of that is just the system telling me what to look at, that is not really appealing to me on the face of it. Now, they may surprise me and I may have a delightful time the next time I prance around through Facebook for
What is this going to be
reason.
used for ads? It's going to be like, Scott, look at you in the latest Armani line. Don't you want to buy? Click here.
I mean,
Maybe
Minority Report did that. Why we're heading there, man? We're going.
Maybe it can make some recommendations better, because I'll tell you, I will watch I watched like a Britney Spears video like a month ago, and everything in the For You carousel is all just like little funny meme things about Britney Spears, and I keep saying, see less. Sorry, I looked at the one video, my God.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't work that well. It doesn't. It tries to know what you want based on a very small amount of data. If this could make it better, okay.
Yeah. Arguably, it could make it better or worse. We're about to find out.
Right, right.
Something that is universally praised, though, are the smart glasses, the Ray-Ban Metas, and they are getting new features. There's a new design. The new clear frames got a big round of applause from folks. Even Tom's Hardware was like, ooh, those look good. But the new features coming to Ray-Ban Metas include reminders, which has the glasses take a photo of something and then remind you about it later. So, you're looking at your keys and you're like, remind me where those are so you don't lose them. You can look at a QR code or even just a phone number and then either have it clicked, or saved to your phone or called on your linked phone. Live translation in English, French, Italian, and Spanish. Multimodal video AI. And an interesting one called Be My Eyes, which connects you to someone live who describes what is seen through your lens, which is, a visual assistance feature that I thought was interesting and didn't get a lot of pickup in a lot of the coverage I saw.
Interesting. I don't.
But also new clear frames. Okay, fine. That's what everybody cared about.
I'm still convinced
I kind
that
of do care about that. I think a
They're
clear
nice
frame
looking.
and a black frame are very different looks. So
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna get some people being like, "Oh, okay, I would wear these."
I think I'm not alone in this panel here on this, or maybe I am, but I think that glasses as an interface is a thing we will see. And I don't mean like full VR and AR and all the capabilities.
But this does feel like it's the right step. It's starting
the
to
right
get
step.
momentum,
Yeah.
right?
This is where you start. You're starting small and thin, and you're getting thinner. I think
Thank
that's
you.
a huge part of this. Tom, you're looking great. And
I actually think you're getting a little too thin.
You're a little
I
thin.
should eat more. Yeah.
But yeah, like you do have to start somewhere. But also, I just think the interface is a safe bet that we are going to have something on our faces at some point. And the sooner you get your head around that and get the right size and form factor, the sooner you will
Or
dominate
get
the market.
it around your head.
Yeah, my big giant head. That's actually true. There's a
Yeah.
lot
Not
of
everybody
truth
wants
in
to
that.
wear glasses. You and I are wearing them, Scott, because we have to. Sarah
yeah.
decides not to and wears contacts, right? So
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I'm going to be
sunglasses
curious
I'm
if
fine
everybody
with,
wants
but
this.
glasses
yeah.
all day.
Yeah, you're not wearing the sunglasses inside, or
No.
most of you at night.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And
Not all of you are Corey Hart.
I don't
My-
even really like wearing sunglasses. I mean, I just don't like wearing
Right.
glasses in general. I mean, sometimes I just do because it's sunny. But no, in a perfect world, I don't know. I feel like something between the VR options we have now and the glasses options that are getting there that maybe looks more like, swimmer's goggles or something. I don't know. But something that's, really secure, is immersive for your eyes. I don't know. Or
Projecting onto your retinas from something that's implanted in your skull is where this
Well, that's where
conversation
that's where it
tends
goes
to end up.
eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not there yet, but we did get another look at Project Orion, which is Meta's concept for augmented reality glasses. So if you're getting confused, Ray-Ban Metas just have audio, They have a camera that can see and respond, but they don't show you anything in the glasses. Project Orion is the pair of glasses Meta is working on that will show you something. So these are like Snap's Spectacles 5, except way smaller, but still for developers, and also you can't get them. These are in the concept phase, but they are real. There are some internal people using them. There's some selected partners that are using them. They have the projector in the arms of the glasses that projects the content onto nano-printed lenses. So the idea is to give you a holographic entity floating in your natural field of view, 70-degree field of view, which is pretty decent. Yep. By all accounts, from the people who've tried them, good eye tracking. They have the voice control, just like the Ray-Ban Metas, and they weigh 100 grams. You have to have a puck in your pocket, though. It's wireless. You don't have to have it tethered, but a lot of the processing is done on a separate thing in your pocket. The other thing they announced along with this is a wrist-based neural interface, which I take exception to them calling neural, but it's a gesture detection wristband that detects the movement of your wrist muscles. Now, the idea is you just think about something and your wrist muscles move, and then that will be able to control things. It's not like, oh, I have to do big sweeping motions. So it's neural in that sense, but it's not connected to your brain directly in any way. That wristband is going on sale. They didn't give us a price yet, but they said it will work with Meta's other AR hardware.
I don't like the term either, and here's the reason I don't like it. Because if that's a neural interface, then so are my earbuds that can tell when they're in my head or if they're not. So is
right?
my pencil in my hand. It's connected to my brain because I'm making it move. It's like
where I'll defend them is that, you can think about something in a way that just causes your wrist muscle to contract almost without you realizing it. And it feels like your thoughts are controlling it, but they're not. And I think that's what they're getting at. But it does make it sound like it's like reading your brainwaves, which it definitely is not.
Yeah, but we are in that. We are in the hellscape of how are we going to market things related to AI. It's going to get weird for a while until we start standardizing on how we describe it, and we're going to get shyster stuff, and it's just going to be the way it is.
Well, but okay, so Project Orion, again, we're still in the concept era, but this almost sounded like Apple Vision Pro to me more than anything. It's like, like these things you could do, but they're glasses. It's not this whole big thing that is tethered to a rather large battery pack that you have to figure out how to keep on your person or quite close to you. It something that's in the middle of this is where we're gonna land here. The what you wear on your face is not going to be the huge things that we wear right now. I don't know how they're going to get there, but they're going to get there. And glasses aren't quite right either because they're not super secure on your, if you do jumping jacks, like they might fly off of your face. You don't want that either. Something in the middle of the two feels like.
Well, you could do a band around the back of the glasses, like sport glasses, maybe.
You could.
Sure.
For something like that.
Yeah, but you're still letting light in the edges, so there's that to think about too.
I wonder if they can do the things that are in the control puck on a phone. In other words, they're not doing it because this is a development version, but maybe you can put them on a phone at some point, and then it's something you're carrying with you already. That would eliminate that part. They're still kind of thick. Like they're obviously way less thick than an Apple Vision Pro, but they're still kind of bulky. So they need to keep slimming it down to where they can be Ray-Ban Meta glasses that have Project Orion in them. But they are making progress. They're not as bulky as they were the last time they let us take a look at them.
True. My goal is to have. I want what the Apple Vision Pro does, like functionally. But I want really thin, basic stuff like this on. If I can do that, I'll wear glasses for the rest of my life, and I may never leave them.
I still want the implants, even though I wear glasses.
Well, those would be true neural interfaces. And
then you can call it a neural interface. That's fine.
Why not?
All right, let's check out the mailbag.
We got one from David who writes in, recently I was in a nightclub in Miami and bumped into a guy with the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Very
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Talked about all the uses for them that I would have, taking shoots on the beach, taking shots for my runs, etc. But I'm interested to see where the space is going. I know Qualcomm is providing chips for the latest Ray-Bans. That's going to change to MediaTek. Who is in the space? Who's trying to get into the space? And is this something that Intel could get into?
I mean, sure.
I mean, yeah.
Intel could get into any space if they can. Yeah, that is a big question.
They can if they can.
I do think ARM designs are very good for this kind of thing, this very small, lightweight kind of thing. So Intel, it's not impossible that Intel could do ARM designs, right? So maybe it feels like something that RISC-V, which is a more open standard, might be good for as well. So I'd keep an eye out for that. Qualcomm is committed to doing some RISC-V design, so maybe they will do that sort of thing. But interesting question, and yeah, definitely another space for chip companies to be able to compete in, because it does look like this is going to keep getting bigger. I'm ready for somebody to give Ray-Ban Metas a run for their money. Like who's going to enter that space next? Not that there aren't plenty of smaller companies doing that. There are, but none have got the momentum of Meta. So I'm looking around to see like who's going to step up and become the Android to Meta's Ray-Ban Apple or whatever.
Snap, maybe not.
Snap would like you to think that
Snap is. I mean, they're still going for it.
They got a thing.
Don't count Snap out yet.
Sure.
Yeah. There's XReal. They're out there. We see them every year at CES. So I don't know. PC Mag even has a best smart glasses roundup. There's Camilo and Rokid and all these Amazon Echo frames. All kinds of stuff that you probably don't realize is out there. So this is a brewing space.
Yep.
Also, Daniel wrote in regards to Duolingo and needing the Max subscription in order to get some of the new AI features coming to Duolingo. As a super Duolingo subscriber, I'm unhappy that Max is another tier. It seems like unrelenting upsell. Still sticking with my subscription for now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Daniel. I'm actually not even doing I'm on the free version right now and just suffering through commercials. But yes, I can see where if you're already paying for something and you're committed to it, being like, oh, cool new features for more money.
Yeah, apparently
it's just not going to work for everybody.
I was talking about this with Daniel. Apparently he sees buttons that say, oh, you want to do this? You got to upgrade to Max, which is the upsell he's talking about. I never see them in my language because they aren't available in Korean, which is what I'm doing.
Well, and
so.
that's the thing. That's the annoying upsell thing, right? Is you go like, oh, cool new thing. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you to everybody who writes in to us. We couldn't do it without you. Keep that feedback coming at feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Also, Scott Johnson, you keep yourself coming right back here once a week, if not more.
Young man.
Young man. And let folks know where they can keep up with you the rest of the time.
Well, it's where I'm the youngest. Find me on Core. And the reason I bring up Core this week, we bring it up a lot, but my Core podcast, which is all about video games and the industry around them, is going to have a bit of a heyday this week, talking about some weird stuff going on with Ubisoft, with Sony, and a bunch more. And plus, they just had a Sony State of Play yesterday. Lots of new stuff announced. Was it any good? Well, we'll talk about it. That's on Thursdays over at frogpants.com/core or wherever you get your shows.
In fact, patrons stick around for Good Day Internet. We're going to pick Scott's brain about some of those new games coming for the PS5 Pro. So we've got that coming for you here a little bit as well.
Cool.
You can catch our show live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 UTC is when it all goes down. Find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. And we're back tomorrow with Justin Robert Young, a new dad, joining us. Talk to you then.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
And yes, that's the same Justin Robert Young you know. He, in case you didn't realize, he's a new dad.
Yeah, he's a father now.
He's not a new person. Or is he? We'll find out.
I mean, he's his life is sort of new.
Yeah.
He's replicated.
Newish. Yeah.
I'm
same
excited for him.
person, new life.
He has an heir.
of fatherhood around him.
His line will continue.
Yeah.
H. Okay. Yeah.
That
Rather
air,
than
different
starting
air.
with an A. Right. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. A whiff of dad.
He has an air of superiority. Now that he's a father.
Dad
smell
jokes
of
left
dad.
and right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smell of dad.
The smell of dad. Nothing like it.
That new dad smell.
Yeah.
My dad used to have this cologne. I forget what it was called. Oh, I know what it was called. It was called Bowling Green.
Whoa.
I don't know if
That's
anyone's ever
fancy.
heard of that cologne. I don't know if he's even around anymore. He wasn't even a cologne person. I don't know why he had it, but I would wear it
Oh.
because I was just like, I liked the way he smelled.
Yeah.
You
Nothing
know?
wrong with that.
Yeah, it didn't seem weird to me.
It's not
Kind of
weird, at all.
weird, but
My dad would get cologne every year for Christmas from us. That was so. I don't know if he
Something
ever
to
really
get dad.
used it, but
Yeah.
his little cabinet or whatever, his dresser was just covered in bottles of cologne.
yeah, it was more like it just, I don't know. It kind of just reminded me of what he smelled like.
I'm trying to remember what we always got him. There was one that was green and one that was blue, and one that was by Menon.
By Merritt. Well, Ben ended up buying a lot of stuff, so for a while there
Yeah,
you
I
could
know that
do-
doesn't tell you much, but
No. I think Old Spice was even Menon.
oh, Millionaire! I think we did get a Millionaire aftershave. at
Oh,
one
hey.
point.
Hubba, hubba. It was all Dracar Noir in our house. I don't know why.
That was me, right? I was the young kid. Oh, Old Spice. He definitely had Old Spice. Aqua Velva. That's what it was.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
old school. I love that. That's every
And
dad should have that.
Skin Bracer. I think we had that too.
Yeah.
Bowling
Skin
Green.
bracer.
Yeah, here it is. You can still buy it on eBay.
That's
Really?
still a thing? Oh, wait.
yeah.
You can't just buy it. You got to get old version of
No, it's discontinued, I think, because it's all like, well, no, Walmart's selling it. So you.
Well, there's third parties on Walmart, so they could be selling old bottles, I suppose.
That's
but-
true. Yeah. Oh, I used to love that. I can smell it right now. I just like the memory of the smell. Smell is it's a very strong thing.
it. Oh, yeah.
It is.
Definitely is. It's one of our most, what's the word?
Senses.
Yeah,
Strong
but there's a word
senses.
for it, how it like is the one that will bring back memories more than any other sense that you have. I forgot the term for that. There's a term for that.
Memetic.
Of factory-based blah.
Oh,
I don't know the name.
factory belt.
Factory
memories?
belt. Nailed it. No, I don't know.
Got it.
Evokes things.
Evokes things.
Yeah. All right, so
stuff.
Scott, let's talk about what Sony announced, which is 7 additional games, bringing the total to 20 now that are going to get enhanced by the PS5 Pro. PS5 Pro is coming in November 7th. Stellar Blade, Star Wars Jedi Survivor were a couple that it seemed like people were excited about online.
Yeah.
Promises better graphics, smoother gameplay over the PS5, but it also is going to run you $700. Some people think that is a pretty hefty price tag for what you're getting. Sony says it wants to have 40 to 50 games patched for the PS5 Pro by launch. And if they stick to that, then they have got their work cut out for them because November 7th is, only a little over a month away.
Yeah, it's coming fast. My stance on this remains the same. It is that what this means effectively, if you're really wondering what you on the ground are going to get out of this if you buy up, is you're going to get a more consistent 60 frame per second experience across the board instead of sort of being all over the place like it is now. There's some games that can't run more than 30 on the PlayStation 5, whereas a PC version of it is running at 60 plus. They want that to be more level, and that is a better experience, and it does look better, and it's also just it's better for control, it's better for smooth interfacing with the games. So I'm sort of for this part of it. I think the idea that you could be 60 frames per second as a baseline, even and mostly for the most part running at true 4K in some cases, not all, but some, is good. That's a good thing. If that's worth $799 or whatever it is, $699, I guess.
Yeah.
Then that's a question you're going to have to ask yourself. As far as anything else being that noticeable, it's going to be hard to tell. I hate to tell everybody this, but it is. It's partly because we're talking about a mid-series bump, but we're also talking about something I mentioned a couple of weeks ago here on the show, which was it was just last week. I can't remember when we talked about it. I had COVID, so I don't remember anything. But it's the concept.
Did your
of
own mini 2020 time distortion.
Basically, yeah. But it reminded me of what it reminded me of the old Pro mid-cycle bump, where they still have to cater very heavily to the install base, and the install base is not going to be predominantly the Pro market.
Right.
It will be the initial PS5 version or the Slims, and because of that, they're never going to be able to do anything too crazy. That's just going to make you go, "Whoa, this is like a generational jump." It is not that, and it never will be.
No,
so just
until there's a new generation, right? That's why you have new generations. Yeah,
exactly. And they're working away on PS6s. We talked about that AMD story and all that. But all that being said, as many reasons to get a Pro, the better. And one of those reasons is lots of the current lineup and catalog being worked, tweaked or reworked a little bit to be able to take advantage of at least that frame rate bump, if not a few other little bells and whistles here that you may or may not notice. But they really need to do this. They have to do this. If they weren't doing this, it would be a colossal problem. And the truth is, there wasn't enough of this with the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. They didn't do near enough sort of back catalog readying to make those games perform better. So I do think they're doing right by players by doing this. After seeing a few stories about people building a PC for around $700 to try to match the specs on a PlayStation 5, it turns out the price is pretty good. Like, it's actually decent. They would have
for
to
what
lose
you get. You may not need
for what
it,
you're getting.
but
Exactly.
if you're gonna buy it, that's the decent price. You think?
Absolutely. And so I think a lot of people saw those as ways to encourage people to join the PC gaming world, but I didn't. I saw it as like, no, this helps solidify the idea that a standalone, dedicated hunk of hardware under your television, designed to be that way, to be comfortable and on, and don't have to worry about drivers and all this stuff, all the hoops we jump through on PCs. That's still a desirable product out there. People don't want to tweak and mess with stuff. So I think that this positions Sony pretty well. I still think that it's just hard to market a thing that seems expensive. $700 is a lot of money, but what you're actually getting is sounding like it's going to be worth it. And if you don't already own one, I stand by my position that this is the one you should get. If you already have a PS5, I would probably hold off and not do it.
Yeah.
But
I still think there's some signs in here that we are pivoting to the console being less of a loss leader. That the console is becoming something they need to have a profit margin on, and that's a big change. But I agree with you. I don't think this means the console is going away and Sony's going to go PC only or something.
No, heavens no. I do think they're going to tighten that window of exclusivity down a little bit, so it's not a year and a half or whatever. It'll be like 6 months between PlayStation release and PC release. Microsoft's going whole hog on simultaneous release, so I don't think they're anywhere near doing that. But Sony could get closer and make that side of the world happy. Although they're real grumpy anyway, because every time there's a PC version of a Sony game, they're starting to make you sign up for PSN to even play it. And PC gamers hate that. So they're all rebelling right now against like the new God of War game.
The worst.
Yeah. Nobody likes it. Unless it's really simple and like brainless, you're making a mistake by making people
I
do
think
that.
EI got a lot of blowback when they made you sign up for Origin to play any EA game off Steam.
That was pretty bad.
People are like, why am I logging into two things?
Yeah, Ubisoft is still doing it. EA has slowed that some, thankfully. But
Ubisoft's isn't that, it's annoying, but it's not onerous the way Sony's is.
Yeah, either way, they're making you sign up for a separate service. The question is, how much resistance do you give people to make them do that? And right now, the PSN sign up is a pain in the butt. So they need to revisit that. I don't think anybody's got that big of a problem signing up for a secondary service. They do it with all sorts of things.
Yeah, when has PlayStation Network ever gone down?
Well,
and
fair point, Tom.
Fine.
They have
It's more than
definitely
10
had their
years
moments.
ago.
Yeah,
And
it was a
Some
while
children
ago.
have grown up in a world where PlayStation Network never went down. I get it.
And I will add, Sony has always been sort of a consumer, like AV electronics company, and
I think of them more as a image sensor maker, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
they do make a lot of money there.
If you ever used their equipment, if you were in broadcasting up through the 90s and early 2000s, I mean, their gear's everywhere, cameras.
Yeah, they're a sprawling, huge conglomerate that are successful in many areas. Yeah,
sure.
But I mean, as a consumer electronics, as an electronics company, they look at this market in that way, and so they will. I think they will always have.
Is
a
the PS5
PlayStation.
part of the Sony electronics section of Sony though?
That's a good question.
Like, is
Didn't
it
they come-
colored by that? Because Sony is like, famously, like its silos are very siloed and they don't
Yeah.
affect each other.
I can't
But
remember.
it's-
I thought there was some talk that this was they were a lot more homogenous now, but maybe I'm just making that.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they might have, but Sony Interactive Entertainment is different than the
Yes.
Sony Electronics.
It
So
is. It's I think isn't more related to the Columbia stuff they had.
I mean,
I don't know if it's part of the Sony Pictures section. I don't think it is.
that
I think
stuff,
it's-
I think they're very separate, although they do try to join hands sometimes. Like
Yeah.
PS3 era, they were working
I
real
think
hard.
they cooperate. To your point, Scott, I think they cooperate more than they used to. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think so too.
No, I think Sony's always going to have a thing, a box. It'll
Yeah.
be 50 years from now, and that they'll still have a box. They'll
I
call
think
it-
they're most suited to having that box. I think of their. I mean, Nintendo will always have something too. They essentially make toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see the Xbox becoming an app before PlayStation becomes just an app.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be. I still think there's a future, and I don't think it's that far off, where Microsoft is putting Game Pass on there, and Sony gets a piece of it, and there is no competing console. Like, I think right now it's just framed weird, but I think that's where we're headed.
I'm going to give this a 37% chance of coming true. At some point, Microsoft will put out a piece of hardware that all it does is run the Xbox app.
Yeah.
It'll be like a Roku, like lightweight,
Stick. Yeah.
Yeah, like a
cloud-based device. Yeah,
Didn't they
maybe it'll
have
be a
one of
stick,
those?
right?
Didn't they
yeah.
plan on that? Wasn't
Well, there's
there?
a-
There was
Yeah, they
some,
did,
there
and
was
they
some leaks
canceled
about
it.
them planning
Yeah.
something, designing something like that, but they never put it out.
At one
I mean,
point,
like-
Phil Schiller had one on his desk behind him, and it never got made, but it was back there.
Yeah.
mean,
Prototype, I should say.
I think their ultimate goal is to do what Netflix has, and when you go to Costco to buy a new TV, it has a little Xbox.
Oh, they'll do that
Yeah.
for sure. That'll happen
And-
too. Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
a dedicated.
Yeah, I think I actually just think that this stuff with Sony. How do I put this? The changes in the market are significant, but I don't think it changes their leadership position in who makes the hardware most people purchase.
Not for a while.
Not for a while, yeah. And it's easy to just naysay it and go, well, if they don't get on board with the digital cloud revolution, they're going to be lost in the dust. Maybe, but I think sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves with that, and you could argue Microsoft gets a
I
little
definitely
ahead.
do see them becoming more of a niche in the same way that, Ultra HD and Blu-ray discs have sort of like, if I can watch it on streaming, do I really need to go out and buy all the other stuff to just watch it on my TV?
Yeah.
Because you always have those. You can always have home theater heads who want the best of everything. They want to have the experience. And more power to them, but a lot of people just want to press a button and have it run and not think about anything.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, the physical disc you buy doesn't even have most of the game on it.
No,
That's true. It's
So-
all downloaded
Especially-
now.
I don't think you see physical media have the same relationship to gaming that it has to video, because a Blu-ray is still arguably a better looking version than you can
Yeah.
stream practically. You could stream Blu-ray level, but it's
It is
harder.
the content. Yeah, it's literally
whereas,
the content.
Whereas there's no difference between the disc and the download, except that you stuck the disc in before you downloaded the game.
Yeah, physical copies of discs now act more like keys than they do
Yeah.
anything else. They're almost they're a DRM form. I hate to say it, but that's
Yeah.
kind of what they are. Because otherwise, you get the whole game.
and a security blanket for people who are like, no, I want the disc.
Yeah, now there's that. But what's funny, people don't think of it this way, but you're like, well, if I bought the disc, therefore I have it physical, no one can take it from me. The truth is, though, so much is downloaded.
That
At the-
it's
all
kind
the
of already gone.
patches.
And the
Yeah.
patches and the day one patches, like you don't
that was
really
the whole
have the
thing
game.
with
I hate
that was
to
the
tell
whole
people.
thing with the the PS3 and the Xbox 360 was like, hey, now it's normal for your games to get patched on a console, when that used to be almost a exclusively PC experience.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's kind of funny how that particular aspect of it works. But
Gee, ain't it funny?
gee, ain't it?
Do we are we excited that it looks like Instagram owns threads.com now and we won't have to go to threads.net?
I saw that earlier. I was even gonna I don't know, moving into the show, but we just had other like actual news. I was like, what is it? Threads.org? Threads.net. Yeah. Because now I just THR and it just auto-populates. Yeah. Or
Most
I just
people
have
are just
the
using
tab
the app anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, the tab's open. I mostly use Threads on desktop, like in the browser. But I hadn't even really thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the former company was some sort of Slack adjacent company.
Yeah, it was Slack-like kind of thing. And
other
then
other URLs.
supposedly they sold it to Shopify for some reason.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You said Shopify right as I looked at my watch that was telling me I had an order on Shopify. That's funny.
Oh,
What's the
do you need to
order?
go fulfill it?
No, my daughter's doing all my fulfillment now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm good.
I actually had a no, sorry, Tom. I'm not. My world has not been rocked by Threads.com.
It seems like a lot of
being
people
owned
are
by Meta.
very excited that Threads.com is.
I mean, I remember when it first launched, I was like, Threads.net. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess they couldn't get the .com, but I don't know. Yeah, like how much that stuff mattered. It used to matter so much.
Used to matter a lot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's. I just wish I was somebody who had a URL that was valuable.
That's what I
point.
was just thinking. Like, what's the next thing that somebody's going to need that I can register now?
Yeah, like I own GURP.org. Is anyone ever going to pay me for that? No.
I own TechSmooth.com.
Don't say that, Scott. Don't say that.
Tech Smooth.
You just
That's
need
pretty
a.
good.
We need a first GURP. And
Look,
then
well, that's true.
everybody's gonna want it.
Then everyone's going to want it. Well, Tech Smooth is probably a higher chance because you're going to find some rapper who needs to sell albums and his name is Tech Smooth.
Yeah, but will they have any money?
That's a good point. Yeah.
There's probably already somebody who is calling themselves.
I registered
but-
Tech. Do you remember when TechCrunch was controversial? Like
The name,
way
yeah. I
back
remember
when
that.
right after it launched, and it was like, oh, TechCrunch is just a gossip rag, and like that was it was the Gizmodo of blogs 1st. And then it settled down in its old age and became respectable, like most humans. But when it was
but
doing
not
that,
all.
Yeah.
I said most, but not all.
Yeah.
But when TechCrunch still had that reputation of being a bit of a tech gossip rag, I registered TechSmooth as sort of a what if somebody created an opposite that wasn't? And then TechCrunch became the opposite of that. And now it's a one of my favorites out there. But
Yeah, I like TechCrunch a lot these days.
that's why I have TechSmooth.
Well,
Because
one
you
day,
have crunchy and smooth.
Yeah, no,
the
one day.
binary of
Wouldn't you? Tech Cream would be the peanut butter version of crunchy versus. You don't say
smooth
like
peanut
smooth
butter.
peanut butter.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
you
Look
say
it up.
Crunchy versus smooth. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think creamy is also used.
I think they
Creamy is
just say
also used.
creamy. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the more we say it, I'm like, ew, this is all so gross.
Skippy and Jif both use creamy, but Laura Scudders uses smooth.
Smooth.
Oh, Lord.
Laura Scudders.
Laura
Any-
Scudder's. I used to eat Laura Scudder's only chunky peanut butter though, because I don't understand people who want smooth. It's like orange juice without pulp. Like, what are we doing?
Is that a
You know?
California? It must be a California
What,
brand.
orange
I've never
juice
heard of
with
that.
Laura
pulp?
Scudders? No,
Laura
it's just an
Scudders.
organic brand. It's all natural,
Never
but it's
heard
not
of it.
California. I had it in Champagne when I was in
You don't
university.
see
only
it
ate
around much
Adams
anymore. It may
growing
have.
up.
Oh,
We have some in our
Adams.
fridge.
Adams.
Yeah.
Adams is what I grew up with the
I'm,
elephant with the commercials where they had the elephants.
I
crush
grew
the
up with
peanuts.
Jif, and every once in a while, Mom would buy Skippy, and I'd be like, "What is going on?"
I was thrown for a loop when I went
We're
to
a
the
Jif
supermarket,
household.
and Peter Pan had its own peanut butter, and I was like, "Wait a
Oh,
minute,
yeah.
it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
related to Disney."
That's right. That's right. No.
And then there
it's
was the
different.
Superman peanut butter. Remember?
I do remember that, but I feel like that was Skippy with a Peter with a coat of
I think
Superman.
you're right. So it was either Skippy or somebody, but yeah.
I don't.
something like that.
I eat almond butter these days, but you still have the options. It's you got chunky and you got smooth.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got an opinion. Justin's almond butter.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
got all
Justin's.
sorts of good almond butter. Kind of expensive, but you
Yeah,
know, it's good.
I buy the Justin's peanut butter cups, but I'm sorry, I buy the Justin's almond butter cups because they're really delicious.
Ooh, they
Yeah.
sound
They
great.
also make peanut butter cups, but I do buy the almond butter cups.
The
Jeff.
almond butter, they get creative. So there's like the regular one, then there's a honey almond butter that I've never tried, cinnamon almond butter, vanilla almond butter.
Yeah,
And
baby.
the first time I got that, I was like, why not? Let's make things weird at home. And I ate the whole thing out of a jar.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was,
Yeah, yeah.
like one of those things where you're like, this is getting scary. I can't stop. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I
You have
never
to
bought it again.
Do you have to stir it?
No.
No.
You don't. No, I mean, yeah. Sometimes the oil kind of sets on the
Yeah,
top.
like
No,
most smooth
these are
incorporates palm oil just to stabilize it into the mixture.
I got very excited on the rare occasion that Mom brought home Goober grape. Too.
Oh, dude. That was basically candy in a jar, but I
was
loved
that the one where it's the
striped.
peanut butter,
Peanut butter and
the
jelly.
grape jelly in one?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted that so bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that thing
You're
looked
It may
right,
have only
Phil,
happened
on
like
it.
twice, but
that.
yeah, it was,
What's the frozen peanut butter sandwiches? Crustables
yes,
and
with the
Crustables or
crust
something?
off.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't
Those
remember
are the
that.
two things I never understood. Why would you do that? I mean, you can get just a jar of jam or I preferred marmalade growing up with peanut butter. But what? Why are you shaking your head? There's nothing wrong with marmalade and peanut butter.
No, I like the Roger's like, well, I preferred
full
marmalade.
disclosure,
with
I'm a
my
marmalade man, but
Bit of a
I
marmalade.
can still
man.
understand your jelly concept.
Listen, if you like stuff in the peanut butter, you're gonna like bits of the orange and the marmalade.
Oh yeah, just so you know, I do like crunchy peanut butter now, but when I was a kid, I did not like it, and I still don't like orange pieces in my orange juice.
Yeah, I don't like
No pulp.
I'm not a pulp guy.
Yeah, I don't
either.
like the pulp. It makes me feel like somebody sneezed into the orange juice. And it's
See,
like,
to
it's
me, I
gross.
feel like it makes me feel like it's more of the original fruit.
That's what you should. That's what a
Even-
rational
even
person
though-
feels.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's
Even
like
though
you know,
those are all separated, they just added in even
well,
amounts to
it just
give
you know when you get like fresh
reconstituted.
squeezed orange juice
Well,
at
wasn't
a
there-
restaurant or something, it's like
Yeah.
you could strain the pulp out of it, but it's like it feels fresher.
For
to
some
me.
reason, though, the fresh squeezed with pulp never bothers me because the pulp feels kind of light and flimsy. But when you get it in the carton, it's like
Jeez.
chunks.
Why did you have to?
It's because it's
not
because
like
it's the
chunks.
well,
What
no,
kind
it's
of orange
because
juice
the
are you
orange.
buying?
It's because the
It's
orange
like,
juice.
something fell in
Just-
my orange
you
juice.
shake
Gross.
it and then it dissipates.
It's because the orange juice and the orange pulp come from different oranges, and I'm sure there's some tangerines.
I
in
don't
the
know if they
pulp
come
too.
from oranges, to be honest.
Oh, it might be grapefruit
Yeah.
pieces.
I've never
It could
agreed
be-
with
it
Tom
could be
more.
Bob who fell into the vat, for all I know. I have
Yeah.
Well, there's my
you guys and
protein
your
for the day.
Strained fruit juice, weirdos.
I don't really drink fruit juice at all anymore.
I
I
actually
like-
don't.
I
I don't
just eat
either.
fruit.
I haven't bought orange
Oh,
juice since I
all
was
you-
a child. But
No fruit juice at all. I
It's
drink
a little.
cran-
It's too sugary, man.
I drink
Yeah.
cranberry juice, third of a glass, and then the rest of it filled with water.
for a
Yeah, I don't-
while, I was doing
That's good. That's good for you.
Ocean
I don't do
Spray. At some point, launched a sugar-free line. Just cran. I think they called it,
Yeah.
and it was kind of terrible. But you could put it into a smoothie. You could kind of you could get your cranberry juice and work it into other stuff. Or cut it with sparkling water or whatever.
Or
but
Bob.
I was doing that for a while. But no, don't or vodka. But
That too.
I don't.
Yeah.
I actually don't think the sugar-free cranberry juice would even be good with vodka. I think it would be much worse. But yeah, no, I don't have fruit juice in my in my.
Oddly, for someone who
my
doesn't like
fridge.
pulp in his orange juice, I prefer not to drink juices because they don't have the pulp. You get more fiber and more of the nutrients when you eat an apple or an orange
Yeah.
directly. So I tend to do that now.
That's why I
Well,
love that.
that's kind of why I stopped drinking apple juice. Apple juice I like very much, but I like eating an
Apple
apple
cider.
more.
Yeah.
Well, have you
Oh,
tried
I
the
do like an
pulpy apple
I
cider?
eat an apple
Love
a
an
day.
apple. I eat
prefer?
not an apple a day,
Well,
but I eat probably 4 to
it's
5
just
apples a
Doctors
week.
come nowhere near my house.
It's interesting you say that, since apple juice is one of the few fruit beverages that actually has no nutritional value. It's like most
Like it's just sugar
water.
because they strain
It's just-
everything out of it.
Yeah. and it's just mostly water with sugar.
I don't know. I mean, at the apple orchards that I grew up in, they would make you buy apple juice, apple cider. I don't know. They had all sorts of
Sauce.
terms for it, and it was like there was stuff in there. It was cloudy.
yeah, that's
In fact, it kind of freaked out certain kids, and I'm like, it's good. What's wrong with you?
Dunaway in the chat. An apple a day. Are you rich? You seen the price of apples?
Yeah,
Nice
not in this
flex,
economy.
Tom. Just one apple a day.
Sometimes I
We
eat
don't
two.
even care.
I am a couple.
So I'm gonna guess that with things floating in drinks, you guys aren't kombucha fans.
No,
I
not a
don't
big
mind it,
kombucha
but
fan either.
I have a problem with the
So
kombucha.
kombucha for me, it's not the floaty things. It's the taste of kombucha.
It's the vinegary aspect.
It's the fact that it's
That-
fermented, but there's no booze. In
A
it.
lot of people have.
It's because there's no booze in it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
you know,
you're gonna-
you know Roger, just a boozer.
I know.
Boozer of
hound.
the crew.
Yeah.
I will.
No, I-
Tom
I-
has seen what happens to me with just one
I've got
glass of
photos.
red wine.
I think I've been around you when you've had I don't know.
No, you've had me around when I had enough to be funny, but Tom has had
So what
me.
Roger's saying is he prefers sangria if he's going to have something floating.
Yes.
He
But
doesn't
no
practice
bobs. No
sangria.
bobs.
No, I've definitely had a lot of
Sangria?
health conscious folks be like, I can't do kombucha. I just cannot do that.
It's all right, but I don't love it. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
don't really.
In fact, the price of it, my favorite brand, went up a little bit, and they also increased the sugar for like no
You know
reason.
what I started drinking
So I stopped
recently?
drinking it.
They had a sale on Messi branded, like Lionel Messi, the
okay.
Soccer
Now,
player.
Yeah,
Kids make a
Messi
mess.
branded energy drink, but it wasn't caffeine. It was more like a Gatorade, and it was only 10 calories, so it wasn't loaded down with sugar. So I'm like, all right, it's super cheap. I'll try it. It was great, and I'm like,
Did it have like stevia in it?
it did. It had stevia and a bunch of electrolytes.
Stevia
Right?
doesn't agree with me.
Oh, see, you couldn't do it then.
I
Yeah.
can't do it.
It's-
No, every time I see something and I look and I go, oh, okay, there's no sugar in here. That's good. And then I look
Yeah.
at the ingredients.
I'm the same
it's
with
always
maltol.
stevia.
If there's maltol, I'm like, nope, that just gives me the runs. So.
Aspartame will give me a raging headache.
Aspartame
See? We're all
gives me a
different.
headache. That's why I don't chew
Everyone's
gum
different.
anymore.
That's why none of us can share sugar-free drinks anymore.
That's right. If you were ever wondering, this is why.
the future
Well,
is
thank
here.
you, sugar-free supporters like Mark and Howard and C-Spawn and Dan and RW and Michael. Y'all are great. Thank you for supporting us at patreon.com/DTNS. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a good day.
Have a good day.
That's a Kevin MacLeod tune, by the way. And there was a profile on Kevin MacLeod, I think on Boing Boing today, about how you have definitely heard Kevin MacLeod's music because he makes so much royalty-free music. That
Was
people
it
use.
Kevin MacLeod of Clan MacLeod?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
And
It was-
when his head comes away from his body, he makes music.
Oh, well, all right then.
Yeah, but he is the one. Or there can be only one.
There
He
can
was
only
it.
be one. Yeah.
Until they made the TV series, and then suddenly there's like a dozen or so.
Yeah, the TV series
So-
had other ideas. Yeah.
We got a Christopher Ray super chat is marked in here. Is this different than the other day? Because it's the same thing in support of Joe, 30 seconds.
It's yesterday.
It's yesterday's. Okay. We just need to clear that out. But thanks again for that. That was amazing. No other super
days
chats
in a row.
there. But thank you to the folks on Twitch as well. Twitch Mare followed us. Pele Glendale cheered us with bits. Zoe did too. Pele Glendale gave out a community subscription gift. Well, Santa Claus there. Lockvine followed us. Art Life 24 followed us. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us today. Let's look at the votes. The votes are in. We're a democracy every day. Well, no, we're not, because we don't always pick the top vote getter. But we pretend like we might be a democracy every day, like most countries. Our top vote getter is from Stealth Dave. Entwined. Ah!
Pretty strong. I like it.
But we also have Raymond. Raymond's strong in the I'm not going to go for the funny title. I'm going to go for the practical title, and gets used a lot because of that. All about MetaConnect 2024.
I mean, that's basically true.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
What's new in the metaverse? Also from Raymond.
Yeah.
Stealth Dave, on the other hand, went with, is that a puck in your pocket, or are you just happy to see AR?
Oh, fantastic. Strong contender.
It's too long though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing wrong with it.
Zoe did a
Ooh.
good edit, though. Pocket puck.
No, that's not bad. It's not
Fred
bad at all.
819 has
Did we say,
the
they say how big that puck is, by the way? Is it a large thing in your pocket?
Size of a large finger is what it looked
Okay.
like to me. Yeah.
That's not too bad.
land of 1,000 upsells from Fred 819.
I keep a human finger in my pocket already.
Come on down, Scott.
Yep.
From Zoe.
Come on down.
Roger, what'd you go with?
I went with Raymond's All About MetaConnect 24.
See?
Now, we've got a three-way tie for GDI title. There are 69 votes for 36 titles. If you have not voted for one of the top vote getters yet, now's your chance to propel it to the top. In the time between me saying that and the lag it takes to get to you and you realizing that you haven't voted and then voting, we have propelled Clinton Woodward to the top with New Dad Smell.
Perfect. That is perfect for Clinton to pick, too.
Batfink right behind with Smells Like Teen Memories. Moose 2271, Simple and Brainless.
All my teen memories smell like Doritos.
Yeah.
I had a
that
lot
tracks.
of Doritos then.
Zoe has an apple a day is for rich people.
Yeah.
Marmalade Man from Clinton Woodward.
Cool. There's also from Stealth Dave, the first GURP is the hardest.
Yeah. First GURP is the hardest.
Oh, C-Spawn's Olfactory Belt by Menon.
By Menon.
By Menon.
Yeah.
There Goes My Hero was stuck in my head all morning. Thank you, Scott, by the way.
You're
No one
welcome.
had Pulp Fiction, huh?
Pulp Fiction. Yeah. New Dad Smell?
Done.
All right. Thank you, Clinton Woodward. And thank you, everybody in chat. YouTube folks, thanks for hanging around. Good to see you. Talk to you tomorrow. Twitch folks, stick around. We're going to let you raid Technique. Tell them we sent you. See you later, everybody. Bye.
See you, buddy.